Yo, what's up YouTube? Dirty Dan Gaming, back with another Rise of Kingdom video. I told you guys that I was going to probably be dropping these back to back just because I did mess up a little bit and I totally skipped the sequence of commanders for KVK1. I should really finish that first before moving on to those KVK2 commanders. So I will jump right into our next commander, who is another cavalry commander, the ever famous Minamoto. He is a cavalry peacekeeping and skill commander. And let's find out if he holds up going into Season of Conquest and beyond. So how you obtain him is going to be a little different than a Mightiest Governor or Wheel Commander. So right when you start your account, your brand new amazing Rise of Kingdoms account, you will have access to Minamoto. This is the first bundle that you will have to purchase to obtain this commander and unlock him. I don't quite remember, and I think it's about $250 in total to max this commander, and you have to get all the way up to VIP level 10. Yes, VIP level 9 to max this commander. So once you get up to VIP level 9, if you've bought all these subsequent bundles up to that point, then you will have a max legendary commander, and he probably is most people's first max legendary. And let's jump into the skills and see if he holds up in 2021. So his first skill, Kiyohachiro, I said that right, deals direct damage to the target of 1400. So this, if you just want to check out without his expertise, deals direct damage target to the factor 1400 and gains a 50% chance to deal extra damage per second for 2 seconds. Wait, hold on. I just noticed I don't have music. Okay, now we have music. Still not editing. Let's go. When you do obtain the expertise, that 50% chance will increase to 75% chance. And you're going to get a nice burst of damage. So you'll see the first skill damage hit for the 1400 damage factor, and then you see 2 bursts of 600 damage factor damage. Next skill is going to be a cavalry stat boost. It's going to give your cav march speed a bonus of 10% and a cavalry attack bonus of 20%. Doesn't hold up too well in the later stages of the game, but in the early game, 20% attack bonus is pretty nice. Next is Master of Kendo, which is going to be a damage bonus damage to barbarians of 50%. This holds up very well, especially as you get into Season of Conquest and the Heroic Anthem and Strife of the Eight. You will be encountering barbarian forts that level from 11 to 15, and those take a little bit to get down. So in combination with double C with his additional 50% damage bonus, the skill does age kind of well. Moving on, Warlord. Normal attacks of troops led by this commander have a 10% chance to increase damage taken by the target by 30% for 3 seconds. This effect can only trigger once every 5 seconds. This skill is awesome. So this is a debuff onto the target. This is the very first major big debuff that we see from these early generation commanders. It is very, very similar to the one that Alexander gets over here, where enemy troops in a circular area take 30% increased damage for 4 seconds. So it's the same debuff of the increase in damage they're taking, but it's just a second shorter. And this is only proccing once every 5 seconds, which is pretty nice. So I guess the ability to proc will occur more often than with Alex. The nice thing with those two is just remember, passive skills do stack with active skills. So if a target is just randomly sitting there and you're hitting him, and there's an Alex just chilling, and he tags that march that you're hitting with a 30% debuff, and they kind of happen at the same time, boom, 60% increased damage taken from that march, which is very nice. And again, we already went over the expertise. So just from his skills alone, I would say, and just for the amount of investment that he is, because you have to remember, it's just, he's a straight pay to win commander. I think that for how cheap you can get this commander, I think his value does hold up pretty well. You can still use him in, he's very usable in like Ark of Osiris matches when you're swarming targets down, because the structures that you're going to be swarming, they're going to take that damage debuff. And in KVK1, he's going to arguably be the highest DPS commander that you are going to have. Again, you might want to try to hide him behind someone who doesn't get targeted so quickly, like a Pelagius per se. But I think his value holds up pretty well for the investment that you have to put into him. I would say 2 thumbs up on being a Season of Conquest commander. Again, it's really just about kind of figuring out a way to hide him, which is again why I'm waiting for more support and defense tree commanders to come out, so I can stick these high DPS commanders right behind the tanks. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually just jump right in, because that one was pretty quick, and we'll go into our second cavalry commander to wrap up our cav commanders for generation 1 and kvk1. So here we have double C. You can acquire double C through golden chests as well as your daily special offers. So if you go over here, double C will be the first commander that you have access to from day 1. You can start buying these chests from day 1. Should you do so, if you are a mid to high spender, I would say yes. Even if you're a low spender, I would say yes, because the value of these chests is pretty good. Just what you are simply getting from them. Oops. What you're simply getting from them is pretty nice. I mean, you're getting some speed ups, you're getting VIP points, the experience tomes, which is huge in the beginning of the game. It is extremely hard leading up to KVK1 to level up your commanders. Obviously, you're getting the commander chests, and you're getting some gold keys, and then the action points, which is also huge, especially in the very early stages of a young account. When KVK comes around and everyone goes crazy for the Marauders, because the value is pretty good on those. I would say, yeah, you can even the low spenders, you know, go ahead and chase those bundles, and you're going to be leveling up a pretty decent commander for KVK1. We'll jump into his skills real quick. First skill is going to be Dragon Rider with a nice direct damage factor of 1400. That is going to be on a single target. He's also going to give a debuff, which reduces the attack by 40% and march speed by 10% for 3 seconds. This is a very nice skill in KVK1, a very nice debuff, and the march speed reduction is always nice when you're trying to eliminate those troops that are trying to run away from you. So this skill holds up pretty well in my opinion. Moving on to the next skill, which I just covered when I was talking about with Minamoto, is going to give you another bonus damage to barbarians, and these 2 guys will probably be your barbarian fort rally commanders in Season of Conquest. At least that's what I was doing, just because it just seems the skills just line up a little bit better. Next is going to be Tiger Knight, which is going to give you, very much like Minamoto, cavalry attack bonus of 30%, which is going to be 10% higher than what Minamoto gives you, and also that additional 10% march speed, making double C and Minamoto the fastest cavalry marches in your KVK1. However, from saying that, unless you are a mega whale, I would not bring double C up to 6-star in your first KVK. Being a cav focused player, I actually didn't get double C up to 6-star until just before KVK3, because I was, you know, I had to work on Saladin and some of my other commanders for other specific reasons that I needed them. But I would leave this guy at a 4-star, and we'll talk about the minimum investment as soon as we just wrap up these skills. Next is going to be Lofty Ambition, which is going to give you a chance, 10% chance to trigger a healing factor of up to 1000. This will also restore up to 100 rage and increase troops march speed by 20% for 3 seconds. This again is this is pretty nice when it comes to sustainability. However, his expertise skill, which is giving you a 10% defense reduction, kind of counteracts that, but it's a okay sustainability healing factor, which triggers pretty often. If you look at your Barbarian Fort reports, you'll notice that sometimes he can heal almost just as much as a Richard, which is pretty crazy. But the Rage Restored is always very nice too. If you see in our last KVK and Heroic Anthem, you have access to these support skills, which is going to give you access to certain commanders' specific skills. So we actually had Lofty Ambition as one of our support skills, and that's probably one of the better support skills that you can get, especially for Cav players who are using Attila Takeda heavily, and Attila Takeda really needs some rage regeneration effects. So that is a very nice support skill to use. And again, the support skills, when you do unlock them, they will be at the level that you have them at. So if I had this skill at level 1, I would only have access to these first, to the 500 and to the 50. You're not getting the support skills totally maxed, even if you unlock them. And then moving on to his expertise is going to give cavalry units an additional 25% increased attack, which is going to give you a total of 55% increased attack. And then again, he's going to reduce the defense of your march by 10%. He is a total glass cannon commander. He is somewhat versatile in the early game, but does he hold up into Season of Conquest and for what you have to invest in him, which is pretty much money, because he doesn't appear on wheels anymore. He was a wheel commander at one point, but you pretty much only have access to this guy through gold chest and through the daily supply chest. So unless you are a mid to high spender, or you just don't really care about investing your money into those chests because you are getting commanders, then he's an okay investment. And I'll just leave it at that. He's just an okay investment, and I'll give him like a half thumbs up for, there we go, half thumbs up for Season of Conquest. He still has some utility, don't get me wrong, but I just don't like the fact that he's giving himself a 10% defense reduction. He has a decent nuke over here with a okay debuff. You're gonna get the same debuff that Constantine has, I believe. He gives you a 40% attack reduction. Yes, you're getting something similar to what Constantine does. However, he's just so damn squishy. And yes, I will leave it at a half a thumbs up for Season of Conquest. It's really up to you. If you're a low spender, just work on this guy slowly. If we talk about minimum investment, obviously you're bringing his first skill up to 5 first. Then what I would do is bring him up to 3 stars and shoot for a 515. Once you can get 515, I would open him up to 4 stars to bring him to a 5151. And I would say if you get a 5151 double C for your first KVK, I think you are in a pretty good position. For my KVK1, I was buying the daily bundles religiously to get this guy maxed, mostly in part because the previous commander that we've talked about with Charles Martel, in the old system, you had to first max a commander to have access to the next one in line, which was Charles Martel. So that was mostly why I was buying the double C chest. But again, being a cap focused player, I wasn't really stressing it too much. I did put in a couple universal sculptures, especially when I first unlocked him, just to get his first skill up to 5 first, because in the early game, unless you're in a jumper kingdom or an organized kingdom that isn't going to have any inner conflicts and you guys are all set in stone for getting ready for KVK, there could be some little skirmishes here and there, which in the beginning game with the 1400 nuke is very nice. But yeah, if you can get him to a 5151, you're good. Do not put any gold sculpts into him. I do regret that highly. So with these 2 commanders, I would give Minamoto, again, just to summarize, we're leading up and thinking about Season of Conquest and how we are going to be saving and investing our universal sculptures into further commanders, Minamoto is a 2 thumbs up, just because for the simple fact that you just have to pay for him, and yeah, you just have to pay for him. That's it. You don't have to invest any sculptures into him, and you don't have to worry about accumulating sculpts, you know, to max him out. He can just be maxed with money, hence the name Minamoto. Double C, we're gonna stay with a half a thumb, a little nub of a thumb, just because he just super glass cannony. And then I would say maybe even if we do get one of those support or defense tree commanders, I would say maybe I would give him a 1 thumb, but we have to wait and see for that. So again, in summary, Minamoto, I would say, is a pretty good investment, just because you don't have to use any universal sculptures for him. And I really like this skill here as a debuff, because it's going to cause that target to take additional 30% damage from all targets. And then Double C, I'm sorry, my dude, but you just don't hold up your value that well, so you are going to stay on the bench and probably stay as a 4-star and strictly gold key commander. So with that, I do apologize for skipping these guys ahead of the Genghis Khan video. I think with that, all we have left is Ethelfled to round out our KVK1 commanders on an El Cid 2, but that'll be a very quick video. Yeah, that's gonna be a quick video. Spoiler alert, he's not worth the investment. So yeah, so with that, thank you so much guys for the support. I love y'all. And again, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing below. Smash the like button, helps the channel a ton, and it's free. And whatever else you guys want to talk about, drop in the comments and we can talk about them, because this stuff is fun. So with that, I'm out. Peace out, y'all. Dirty Dan, have a good weekend. Love y'all.